And just like clockwork, this year we have a brand new age. Hi, this is Sanctus, welcome back to Forge of Empires. We had already seen a lot of spoilers for this age, but what matters really is the values of their buildings, their units, how exactly their recurrent quest works, and how they are going to affect the meta that we have right now. These first paragraphs here just give a story if you're interested in that part of the game. And these things right here in the bottom are the units. For example, the one in a globe is the light unit. This one over here on the left with 2 cannons, I believe, is a fast unit. This one over here at the bottom that looks like it's in a boxing match is the heavy unit. And if you move further upwards, you can see the artillery units. And finally, this one here on the far right is the short range unit, or as I like to call it, the sniper unit, because its symbol is a little crosshair. As with any age, we'll have main story quest lines and side quests, and of course a very important recurring quest, plus obviously new portraits, and what a lot of players want, including me, new expansions with 3 premium, 2 on the tech tree and 1 on the campaign. As we've seen before, we're going to have new technologies, residential buildings, military, and so on. And of course, last but not least, a new grid building. However, I must mention first that we still haven't had the second grid building for Space Age Asteroid Belt, which we were expecting. Usually every age comes with 2 grid buildings, and it was only in Space Age Mars that the second grid building took pretty much forever to appear, and now, unfortunately, it appears that we will not have a second grid building for Space Age Asteroid Belt. As for the Town Hall, you've already seen that it looks like this on your city, and you still have the same spaceport, and then you have a different Town Hall in your colony in Space Age Venus, which in this case will be floating in the clouds of Venus. The special good will be Venus Carbon, and it will work just like any of the special goods from previous space ages, i.e. you need an exploration site on the campaign map, then you also need credits from your colony, and once you have waited enough time after their production, you'll need to either fight or negotiate in order to obtain that special good. That special good will later on be used either on the tech tree or to make goods. As for the new grid building, we've already seen how it looks. It is called the Flying Island and it is a 6x4, a standard size. And interestingly enough, it says that it creates mysterious shards for you to discover on your cultural settlements. But essentially you have a chance of gaining shards from this grid building onto your cultural settlements. They can either be common, uncommon, or rare. All that this sounds is exactly the same as the Temple of Relics. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Temple of Relics here is a great building at 6x6, which when you build it gives you a chance of earning relics, and they can either be common, uncommon, or rare, and they give all sorts of good things from forge points to special buildings, maybe a renovation kit or blueprints. And as I've said, you have a chance of earning them every time you complete each of these encounters here. And so, with this new great building, the Flying Island, you can expect to have a chance of earning maybe every time that you complete a new mission, or maybe every time you finish a new settlement. I don't know, we'll have to wait about 2 days. The reason why I'm making this is because my beta account really sucks, and I'm not really looking into put it all the way up to the space age. But anyway, moving on, now all units have a 30% chance of dealing double damage, which is more than in previous ages. So in Space Age Mars it was 20%, Space Age Asteroid Belt was 25, and now it's 30. However, the other thing that's really important as well is the base value for attack and defense for either of these units, which increased tremendously in the virtual future in Space Age Mars and a little bit in Space Age Asteroid Belt. The reason why you don't want this to simply explode into astronomical values is because it will make these units simply unbeatable regardless of your bonus, especially on Guild Battlegrounds or GVG, which is where a majority of fights take place. But anyway, the units themselves, just to remind you, the first one is a heavy unit, the second one is a fast unit, then you have a sniper unit, or I like to call it, followed by the artillery unit, and then the light unit. The final one is a champion, but ever since the contemporary era that the champions have become irrelevant, at least to me, so you never really have to worry about them. As for the heavy unit, it says that it has reactive armor, meaning that it cannot take more than 4 damage per attack. In other words, you'll always need to shoot them 3 times in order for them to fall. This is the same skill as a heavy unit from the Oceanic Future and Contemporary era, And this can be okay in the sense that it can help you, but it cannot be overpowered. But we really have to see if they have any other skills and how not only their base value but their attack range works, because that's something I forgot to mention as well, which is that the attack range of most units in Space Age Asteroid Belt fell to the point that they became useless, and so only the sniper and the artillery units were actually good. So in this case we'll have to wait and see how their attack range is. Then you have the fast unit, which can ignore artillery strikes, which is a unit that has always existed. And even though it ignores terrain, what matters again is the range, because the last units that had this skill but had a range of 1 were absolutely terrible, like the ones in Space Age Asteroid Belt and in the Future Era. As for the sniper unit, it looks really good. Snipers usually have a large range, and in this case you can use attack bonus for every time that they get closer to the target, and they can also ignore stealth, which means that if you're using those sniper units from Space Age Asteroid Belt, which were the best, you need to worry about these ones. As for the artillery, it looks as it's going to be a very powerful artillery with low mobility, such as in the Future Era or maybe Arctic Future. In this case, this one is going to ignore most of Vesna's skills, and this usually means that it might very well ignore the reactive armor, which means that this might very well be one of the better units of this age. And it also has a power shot kill, probably meaning that it can deal a lot of damage in just one shot. However, it might end up wasting one turn in order to reload, just like the Future Era artillery, but we'll have to wait and see. Finally, we have the light unit, which is the observer drone, and it can hide in broken grounds, and that's it. That's the only thing they say to us. It doesn't look like it can ignore artillery, we don't know anything about its range, and any other skills. So from what we have right here, I can say that the observer is going to be a very weak unit in this age, and that is not going to influence any of your battles. And so, that's all I have for you for the announcement that Indie Games made about the new age. I am hoping to make a new video when this comes out, although because my city is weaker, I won't have access to everything, and so I think I'm actually going to make a video once it gets released on the main server. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.